Hello. Hello. We are live and it is time. It is 7:30 Brisbane time, 8:30 Sydney time, etc., etc. And we are here. It's time for Druids Down Under Discuss Everything, the Dude Talk. And I'm just waiting to see if anybody's going to join us before I start. Hi, Julie. And I'll start in a minute or two. I'm just going to give it a minute just to see if anybody else joins us live. Obviously, you'll be able to watch this later. Excuse me. So, hi, Beck. People are coming in now. So, I'm just going to wait. Hey, Pete. Just going to give it a couple more seconds and then I'll get going. Lovely to have you. Lovely to be back. I've got something interesting to launch tonight. At least I hope so. I hope it's going to be interesting. It's certainly going to take a while to bear fruit. So hopefully people will be interested in becoming involved in it. So as I said, welcome to Dude. I don't know what episode we're up to. I'd have to count them. I'm not quite sure, but we're up to a lot of episodes at this point. Hi Jan, hi Marianne, welcome. And this episode is going to be, oh, I didn't even introduce myself. And that's because everybody who is watching at the moment knows me. But for those who don't know me, my name is Samantha Gibson. I am the editor of Serpent Star, which is the quarterly journal for the Order of Bards, Ovates and Druids in the Southern Hemisphere. I'm an Ovate in the Order, and that's me. So I'm here tonight because I, like quite a few people, I had a project which I was going to launch at the Southern Hemisphere Robot Assembly, which was going to be held just outside of Melbourne at Samhain, and unfortunately that assembly has had to be cancelled due to or hopefully postponed, hopefully. But certainly won't be going ahead as planned because of the thing that we won't talk about, because when this ends up on YouTube, we have to make sure we haven't mentioned it. So, and there's some sort of rule or something about it. I totally lost my train of thought there. Sorry. What I was going to do was, there was a project that I was going to run, that I was going to launch at Assembly, and as a lot of it was going to be running online, it was not that much of a problem for me to rejig it so that I would be able to run it online completely, and that's what I've decided to do. So this is the night on which I'm going to give information to everybody. Officially, we're going to get cracking on the 1st of May, but I will obviously give information tonight, and there's going to be in the chat for this post, there is going to be a link sometime in the next couple of days to a Facebook group that people will be able to join if they're interested. So what is it? Well, it's going to be called the Samhain Year Awen Along. So Samhain Year Awen Along. And as I said, the project has been in the planning since before the pandemic started. And originally I was going to start it with a workshop at Assembly and for the attendees, and then run it for a year on Facebook with those attendees. But obviously the pandemic happened, and online connection has become the most important thing to us at the moment. So now I'm going to run it completely online, starting on the 1st of May, and running until the 31st of April 2021 via Facebook. This talk will be linked to it. There will be info on how to get involved, etc. So, what is an Awen Along, you ask? For us, basically what it's going to be is a year-long single project. So everybody's going to undertake a project. That project will be, each of us will practice seeking and expressing our creative inspiration in whatever form it takes, and putting it into a single project, one piece at a time. And the idea for this project, in some respects, comes from, I don't know if you've ever seen a thing called a temperature blanket. A temperature blanket is something that knitters and crocheters may do, felters as well, I guess, and or I guess quilters could do it too. It's a blanket where you take the temperature where you are every single day, and you make one row. So you create one row of that blanket every day with the temperature for the area that you're in, and you've got a color scheme. You've got a color scheme. Some people take it from the temperatures, colors that are used on Bureau of Meteorology websites and things like that. Others have other ways of doing it. But basically, what you end up with is this pattern blanket where you have it basically shows you what the year looked like in terms of the physical temperature of where you are. What I'm suggesting is that what we do is take our spiritual temperature every day, either every day or every week or every month. There might be types of expression where a weekly or a monthly gauge is going to be a little bit more feasible or a little bit more appropriate. I'll explain a little bit more about what I mean in a minute. But what I'm going to suggest is that you take the daily temperature, your spiritual or emotional temperature, and add it to this project. And at the end of the year, you will have this creation, this artistic creation that has expressed your entire year from start to finish, from Samhain to Samhain, which is why it's called the Samhain year, Awen along. And Awen along because obviously Awen being the word that is used for our most sacred creative expression, but and along because we're going to do it together. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to invite people who join the Facebook group to do it with me. And any and all forms of expression will be welcome, not just crochet, not just knitting. And you might be thinking, oh my God, how can that possibly work if I'm a photographer? Well, if you're a photographer, you could take a photograph every day and make a collage. If you are a writer, you could write prose, one sentence at a time, one sentence each day. If you are ambitious, if you're particularly ambitious and a songwriter or a poet, you could look at writing an epic poem, one line at a time. You could look at writing an epic length song, one line at a time each day. Or you could do it once a month. You could do it once a week. You could do it however many stanzas you want to end up with. You could do it. I'm recommending people consider doing it every day because it becomes a daily practice. But if you want to be part of the project and you want to end up with something smaller, then certainly don't restrict yourself to just the one rule of one thing every day. So other options are, if you paint or draw, you could do an element every day, or you could create a series. If you are into drawing comics, you could create a set of frames. You could create a graphic novel that is one frame a day. You could do, if you work with wood, metal, leather, clay, if you sculpt, you could do it the same way. So you could do either an element at a time, or you could do a series. You could create a journal using paper that you've created. You could, if we bring it back to yarn, you could spin a ball of craft yarn that you add different colors to every day. You could, if you're weaving, you could add textures and colors to your weft every day. The sort of rough weaving style that is you see from time to time, the freestyle weaving. If anyone can think of any other ways that they can suggest, obviously go ahead and do it. I even wrote down you could create a recipe. If you cook, you could create a recipe for each week or month and photograph it and contribute it. My point is that the point is not how you do it, it's that you set a regular schedule, you make an intention to keep it, and that it become a sacred practice. The reason it's so broad is that the point of the exercise is to get together, to share in our progress as if we're sitting together in one room. to have something that grows for us over the years. So basically what we're doing is we're planting a seed and we're going to grow it. And each day or each week or each month, you're going to grow this creation. And at the end of the year, you will have this thing that you have grown out of the turmoil that we find ourselves in. Because obviously we're all in this together, we're all in this turmoil together. So now is a good time, actually, to be starting this, even though it was planned before all of the pandemic issue began. Now is a good time to be starting this, because as we come out the other side of it, we're going to grow this craft project together. And likewise, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to invite people to share their progress. I'm going to be sharing my progress. And you don't have to share it if you don't want to. You could just talk about it. You can talk about how you're feeling with it. You can participate in the discussion. You don't necessarily have to become involved in actually sharing the work. If it feels too personal for you to do so, then you don't have to. That's fine. But one of the things, or the things that I'm going to do in order to help facilitate this, one of the things I will do is I'm going to, in addition to sharing my own progress, obviously, I'm going to have a weekly oracle card draw. So I'm going to draw a random oracle card every week, and that's going to be posted in the Facebook group, which will be there to give inspiration if anybody's struggling to find a way to express. I have also written a meditation, which I will try and run through if I have time. I'm watching the time and mindful of the time. But if I've got time to run through the meditation, I will run through the meditation. Otherwise, I'll record it and I'll put it on the group. And ultimately, what we're going to do with it at the end of the year is that next Samhain, when we come to the end of the project, then we can look at what we're going to do with the results. So we could, depending on what's happening in the world, we could try and have some sort of online exhibition. I could open up Serpent Star for a special edition where we share the project. So you won't have to be a member of OBOD to be involved in this. Anybody who is watching this broadcast, anybody who watches it later, you can become involved in it. You don't have to be even be a member of the Druid Order. You can actually just join the project however way you'd like to do it. Obviously, the only thing that we would ask is that you stick to the brief that's in the group, because I'm going to sort of keep the group fairly focused on the project, because we have lots of groups where we can talk about all sorts of things. So I'm going to keep the group fairly focused on the project. And you can start any time. You don't actually have to start at Samhain. Some people may come into this mid-year and decide that they want to be part of it. You can do that if you want to. That's fine. I'm not going to say, oh no, you can't join because you weren't here at Samhain. You can join and do it for the full year if you want to. It just means that you might be a little bit sort of out of sync with what the group is doing, but we certainly welcome your presence and your contribution. So that was sort of what I wanted to talk about with regards to the project. There will be more information when I set up the Facebook group. There's going to be more information in the group before I even go live with it. So as soon as it's ready to go live, I will post in the chat for this talk. I'm going to post in the chat a link to the group, so if people want to come and join the group, that the link will be available for there. I think I do have time for the meditation, so I think I might actually do a little bit of a meditation with everybody now. This is a meditation that I've written that I'm going to record for the project, and this meditation is basically designed, if you feel a little bit stuck, I can suggest that you try this meditation and use it to inspire you to what it is you want to express on a given day. So you can do this either outside or inside, which is perfect for the circumstances in which we find ourselves. And yeah, so yeah, we've got time. So I'm going to take you through it. It's quite short. It's only a few minutes. So what I'll get you to do is maybe have a little notepad handy, paper and a pen, or just grab something quickly. And then I'll invite you to get comfortable. Just get comfortable. You won't need to sit for too long, so just get comfortable where you are. And I'll invite you to take 3 breaths. the earth beneath you, the sky above you, with the trees around you. If you have a sacred inner grove, find yourself there, or if not, find yourself somewhere that is meaningful for you, somewhere comfortable and safe. And in that place, find a place where there is a large patch of thick, soft grass. Sit down and just sit in the grass for a minute. And in that space, close your eyes and run your hands gently through the long grass. Is there anything here that you can pick up? If you find something, open your eyes within the meditation and take a look at what you're holding. Look at its color and its shape. And think of what it tells you about how you're feeling today. If there was nothing in the grass, then look at the sky or through the trees. And watch the light flicker through the trees and the sky. What time of day is it? What colours and shades do you see? Now take a deep breath and listen. Listen to the wind in the trees. Does it tell you anything? Does it sing to you? Just sit with these things for a minute. Now you can bring the memory of what you found back with you. Take a deep breath. Take a gentle stretch. And wiggle your fingers and toes. And when you're ready, open your eyes and just write down what you found. So you might like to just take a couple of notes of what you found, or maybe later on you might like to write a little bit more about what you found if you did find something that's inspirational in that meditation. And that is a meditation that I will record. As I said, I'll record so that people who want to take part in the Samhain Year Awen along will be able to access via the Facebook group if they're needing inspiration. So I wanted to, right before I finish, I know we're at 22, sorry, we're at 10:02 now, so I'm at 20 minutes now. But I want to just very quickly have a quick word about Serpent Star while I'm here. Serpent Star is due out at Samhain, and I'm just very quickly, because I can't remember off the top of my head, I'm just very quickly looking up what I had put aside as being the closing dates. I had originally changed the closing dates this year to line up with the assembly, and I'm going to honour those dates. I have decided to honour those dates. So what's going to happen with Samhain this year is it's going to be coming out on the 10th of May, or in the week of the 10th of May. The deadline for contributing will be around about the 5th of May, but if you get in touch with me and tell me something's coming, I'm happy to wait for it. But I'm looking at getting it out by the end of the week of the 10th of May. So I'm going to encourage people to, normally at this time of year, we would be talking about our travels and things like that, but we're going to have a little bit of a shift in focus. I want to hear about what you're going to be doing over the autumn and the winter during the quiet, or what is going to be the quiet time in the year. One-off Bardic offerings, articles about what's important to you moving forward. And also, I'm going to encourage everybody to talk about any online experiences that you've had that you've used to feel connected during this time. So that's what the Samhain edition of Serpent Star is going to focus on. And I also looked up, for the benefit of those who saw my last DDUDE talk, I actually did look up how many Serpent Stars we've done, and the Samhain one's going to be number 87, which means that at 4 a year, we've got a ways to go before we hit 100, so I don't have to panic about the 100th one just yet. So that's really me. That's pretty much all I've got to say tonight. And thank you to those who came to see this live, and hello to people who are seeing this at a later date, either via Druids Down Under or via the Serpent Star YouTube channel. And yeah, feel free to join in with this project if you are interested. As I said, keep an eye out for the link in the Facebook group or in this chat below this video. Also, when I put it up on YouTube, I will put the link in there as well. So that's all. So I hope you're all keeping well. Take care of yourselves, and take care of those around you. Wash your hands, and if you're in the categories, stay home. And much love, and good night. Good night, everybody.